Like and subscribe. And let me get straight to it. One of my subscribers asked me to be more thorough in my videos. And so I'm going to try and do so. But usually I try to limit the videos because people have short attention spans. But anyway, let me begin. This is going to be a preface to a book that I'm going to write concerning the existence of God, to prove the existence of God and to explain the character of God. But before I do that, I'm going to have to clean up some garbage. So, excuse me as I take out the garbage. Megachurch ministers are ministers of ignorance, lies, greed, and big, fat, morbidly obese white lies, or should I call them white supremacist lies, of which new curse words would have to be invented before I could rightfully express my disdain for the ignorance and evil promulgated by such mental midgets under the guise of civilization that amounts to waste of resources and destruction of human life and the planet we call home. Starting with the first megachurch and creator of white lies and supporter of colonization and slavery, the Vatican, the most unholiest place on earth, next to the synagogue of Satan, full of lies and buffoonery as well. They were the inventors, to my knowledge, of lies, deception, and continue to do so on a massive scale. Who were these people? They were Judeo-Christians. They were Judeo-Christians. It was the Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews aligned with the Christians who colonized and enslaved their fellow human beings. Now, how and why did the Jews and I shouldn't say Jews, but the Jewish organization, because Jews are of the blood. We are not an organization. So let me rephrase that. So how and why did the Jewish religion and Christians divide themselves? The answer is simple. There is no honor amongst thieves. The greed that divides is always inevitable among thieves and liars. It is their instinctive nature or character. It is their instinctive nature or character not to trust people of their character because they are liars and thieves. And to answer the question, is there honor among thieves? No. If there were honor among thieves, they would not be thieves. That's common sense. Now, is this their instinctive nature or character not to trust? Thievery creates the necessity to lie. is this their instinctive behavior. But understand this, thievery creates the necessity to lie. So we could call it a learned behavior, evolving and improving over time, that was created in the bowels of hell. Now, whether it be, I don't think it is instinctive. I think it is a necessity for thieves to lie. So therefore, it is a learned behavior that thieves have improved on over time, and now they are a master at it. Let me state this for the record. Heaven and hell are metaphors for states of consciousness, for the only real corporeal existing thing in the world is God. And we live in the mind of God. And anyone who tells you differently is not a prophet of God, but a liar. No one has physically talked to God, or should I say Yahweh, or Jesus, Yashua, as a messenger of Yahweh, God. Let me explain to you how God communicates. God communicates through vibrations. God communicates with us through vibrations. And then God communicates us mind to mind, and not through the spoken word. God communicates with us mind to mind, and not through the spoken word. So when I say God communicates us mind to mind, a lot of you would like to know how that is done. Well, I suggest that you search for truth. If you want to have God communicate with you, search for truth. Look past the lies and the deception. Look past the lies and deception if you want God to communicate with you. Why would God communicate with a liar? Why would anyone knowingly communicate with a liar? It does not make sense. The simple mindlessness of people to believe the lies that are preached contrary to the Bible and yet proclaim to believe in and study the Bible is disheartening and amazing to one with a mustard seed of common sense that decides to use it. In other words, why are you reading the Bible and going to a mega church, listening to a minister of misinformation tell you to ignore the things in the Bible? That is amazing. You see, to some people, intelligence is amazing. Let me put it this way. To ignorant people, intelligence is amazing. To intelligent people, ignorance is amazing. That's the difference between intelligent people and ignorant people. One has to ask themselves, how could intelligence and what should be common reasoning be ignored? For no thinking thing could be so ignorant. Going back to chimpanzees, It is said that chimpanzees are our closest living relative, and it is my opinion that those who search for the missing link should not look for physical characteristics. They should look for mental characteristics, for a thing does according to its nature. In my study of chimpanzees and their character or nature, whether it be instinctive or learned behavior makes no difference. For a thing is what it does, and that can be described and defined as its nature or character. Instinctive or not is a moot point. One has to theorize the missing link must be Neanderthal, for Homo sapiens are melanated people, Africans, people from Kemet. Kemet, not Egypt. The name Kemet was changed to Egypt. In fact, those of you who study Hermetic philosophy, they use Hermes' name and they call it Hermetic philosophy. But they left the etic in there because what it is really, it is Kemetic philosophy. Hermetic philosophy is Kemetic philosophy. Hermes Trismegistus' name is Thoth. It's an African name. His name is Thoth. You see, time moves and things rearrange over time, usually naturally. However, as I have spoken and said already, the ministers of misinformation want to be Homo sapiens, but they can never be me unless they exhibit the character of me. And the character of Hebrew Israelites / African Americans is of a kind and loving people. Now, let's not stray away from the subject. And to be precise, Neanderthals are the missing link and are 81% Homo sapien only, and they are 9% Neanderthal. Now, some of you will say, well, that makes them Homo sapiens. I beg to differ. Using the logic of Caucasians / Neanderthals, you all said that if a person has 1% black blood, then they are black, which is to say they are Homo sapiens. So in essence, you're saying that if a person has 1% black blood, they're Homo sapiens, which means that if a person has no black blood, then they're Neanderthals. Now, I will leave a link below that contains a video where you Caucasians call yourself subhuman. You call yourself subhuman. This is where I get the information from. You called yourself subhuman. And if you are a subhuman, and if Neanderthals are a subhuman, then they would have to be a missing link between Homo sapiens and chimpanzees. Now I'm going to go into this little chimp thing that you do. If you rub a chimp's fur back, you will see that he has pale skin, what you call white. If you look at a chimpanzee, you will notice that he does not have lips. Melanated people have lips. Caucasians in general do not. Melanated people usually have long legs. Chimpanzees, like Neanderthals, have short legs. The only similarity that I have with a chimpanzee is that a chimpanzee's face is black. But guess what? He does not have hair like lamb's wool. And when you, with your pale skin, short legs, and no lips, put on blackface and make chimpanzee noises, you look more like a chimp than I do. Because a chimp does not have lips, long legs, or black skin, and normally he has a flat butt. I have neither. So think about what you're doing before you do it. You see, God has jokes, and this is a joke that you are playing on yourself. Snap out of it. So I think I've proven my point, but let me reiterate it. Let it be known, chimps are not the closest relative to Homo sapiens. Neanderthals are, and chimps are their closest relative, not mine. Although you would desire it to be the opposite, so you lie and say that you are me, but you aren't even a reasonable facsimile of me. But you continue with this nonsense. And the internet has exposed you. The internet has exposed you. But you've been lying so long, you can't go back. When you tell a lie for 400 years, what do you have when the truth comes out? And they say the bigger they come, the harder they fall. Well, let me change this. The bigger the lie, the harder you fall. Because you're going to have to make up other lies, and it is the other lies that are totally nonsensical, such as the Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews lost their skin tone. Well, guess what? My people have lived in America 400 years. I haven't lost my skin tone. How did you lose yours? The only way you could have lost it is by mixing with other Neanderthals. But even with this being the case, which isn't the case, all you did was usurped the teachings of the Kemetic mystery system. You like the Kemetic mystery system, so you usurped the teachings, and then you made Judaism to be a Jew. You made that to be a religion so that you could join, so that you could convert. You see, Judaism, to be a Jew, has nothing to do with religion. It is the blood of Moses' brother, Aaron or James. I forgot, I get his name mixed up. To be a Jew, you have to be of the blood. Judaism is non-existent, because to be a Jew is not to be of a religion. It is to be of the Kemetic philosophy. It is to be of the Kemetic philosophy. And philosophies are different than religion, because religions are exclusive. Philosophy is inclusive of all mankind. And as Jesus said, He who believes in God is my brother and my sister. He didn't say that they were of the Jewish faith. Let me finish here. Consider this a preface to my thesis on the nature and character of God, which will also be used to prove the existence of God. For who better to do so other than a Hebrew Israelite, one of God's chosen people? Who better to prove the existence of God other than a Hebrew Israelite, one of God's chosen people? We are a melanated ethnicity. We are a melanated ethnicity baked in the radiant energy of the sun, the first workman of life. The first workman of life on earth is the sun, directed by the all and eternal living mind in which we have our being. In essence, we live in the mind of God. When God said, "Let there be light," there was the sun. And from the sun came the planets in this solar system. Let me state for the record, Yashua had hair the color and texture of lamb's wool. This has a dual meaning. Yashua was an older man, and the white symbolizes spirituality from the crowning chakra. Some call it a halo, others an aura. Fiery eyes represent fatigue and disdain for the ignorance of the multitude and their masters. Feet, the color of burnt bronze, symbolizes he was melanated and walked on top of the earth as an immortal, not inside the nature of earth. Not inside the nature of earth. And what does it mean to be inside the nature of earth? It means to be imprisoned by your desires. It means to be imprisoned by your earthly desires, being greed, lust, and all the rest. Anyone who tells you differently is not a prophet. Such a person is a liar. Anyone who tells you any differently than what I've told you in this video is a liar and should be looked at as a liar. Truth proves me out. Now, one thing that I find disdainful intellectually is that Jesus said a rich man will have as much chance of getting into heaven as a camel passing through the eye of a needle. So why are you going to these churches or religious institutions and making these people rich? Why are you making people rich when the Bible tells you that they're not going to be welcomed into heaven? But see, you believe in them because you want to be rich also. You may not be rich, but you have their characteristics. And if you could take their place and use the word of God to make yourself rich, you would do so. Thinking you can manifest miracles believing in a liar just makes you a fool. With this, I'm going to end. Like and describe if you learned something. And if you didn't, hey, it is what it is. May God bless you all.